In describing my tech comm example, I have to out myself as recently having had lice, which I contracted from my kindergartner. In a panic, we took a recommendation to go to a lice clinic. And yes, you're probably going to start to feel itchy as you listen to me talk about this. I'm already feeling it. But as we were leaving the clinic, we had our heads wrapped in gauze and plastic. The last piece of the process was smothering our heads in oil. And we had some Dawn dish soap to go home and wash it out with. And they handed us these post-treatment instructions. And I'm really used to keeping track of bad tech comm to use as examples in the classroom, but this was a piece of really cool and good tech comm. First of all, you can sort of see that they've done a nice job with structure. There are big headings, small headings. They have only one color, green, that sort of calls things out, also kind of calming for when folks are not feeling calm when they're leaving after having this traumatic thing happen. They use different sizes of text, good use of bullets, underlining to call things out, all done very thoughtfully and rhetorically. But further than that, it really had a very specific voice. So this set of instructions used phrases like you might use with a friend, phrases like don't freak out, and the lice are not, quote, lurking on your sofa waiting for you to sit down, things meant to calm you. And what I found most useful is that in addition to this sort of clear voice and clear perspective, the instructions also offered a handful of really clear arguments, which is, when we think about instructions, our students typically go to, oh, this is neutral, right? This idea that instructions are factual, neutral, no perspective, no arguments, and we know that that's not true. And so I really like this as an example to show them really clear, great instructions also have an argument. So for instance, a couple of the arguments that I noticed here was first, they describe how very effective and efficient they are, right? Lice Clinics of America. So they say, like, you don't have to put everything in a bag for 2 weeks like you might have read online. That's not necessary because of how effective this treatment that you've just gotten is. The second argument I noticed here is that they care about you. They're looking out for you. As you can imagine, whether you've experienced lice or not, people come into the Lice Clinic feeling pretty stressed and anxious. I certainly did. And so this message, this argument that the Lice Clinics of America cares about me was pretty effective. Little notes like, you don't have to boil your hairbrushes because it can ruin them. They hear about us. They don't want us to ruin our hairbrushes. Sort of like a thoughtful addition argument. And then the third big argument is that you, as the lice haver, is not losing your mind. They, in this set of instructions, say things like phantom itching and crawling is a common experience, especially at night as your brain is trying to process your experience. They really acknowledge the fears that most folks have and how valid they are. They tell us lice cannot jump or fly. Again, they're not lurking on your sofa. But that they also understand how you feel and they support you, right? They end on, however, we recommend that you clean whatever you feel you need to clean in your house in order to relax and feel safe. I see this document as a really effective set of instructions, not just because it does the instructing quite well, as a good example of tech comm, but also because it demonstrates a real voice and perspective, and lays out a set of arguments designed to comfort the reader and give them something that they really need in that moment.